Our environment is a defining feature of the ACT. With more than 60% of the territory protected in parks and reserves, Canberra is proud to be known as the Bush Capital. The 2023 ACT State of the Environment Report assesses environmental condition and progress towards sustainability in the ACT. It also provides formal recommendations for the ACT government to improve ongoing management. The report explores key sustainability and environment issues over 5 chapters. Valuing Ngunnawal Country focuses on projects and initiatives occurring in the ACT that integrate traditional Ngunnawal knowledge into land management policies and practices. Community leadership in environment, sustainability and climate celebrates the ACT environmental volunteer community, providing an overview of their efforts to conserve natural areas, promote suburban sustainability and call for greater climate action. Bushfires in the ACT explores the impacts of the 2019-2020 bushfire season on the environment, as well as on the health and well-being of the ACT community. Canberra's urban boundary spotlights the immense environmental costs of expanding Canberra's urban footprint, as areas with high conservation value continue to be lost or fragmented. Circular Economy discusses how the ACT is tracking in transitioning to a circular economy where waste is eliminated and products and materials are kept in use for as long as possible. So, what is the state of our environment? Climate change. Long-term trends show that the ACT is getting warmer. 2019 was our hottest year on record, with 33 days over 35 degrees Celsius. We're already seeing the impacts of climate change through increased severe fire risk and tree mortality. The ACT's emissions are decreasing, having achieved 100% renewable energy in 2020. However, Scope 3 emissions account for the vast majority of the ACT's total emissions and are not currently included in government reporting. In 2020, Scope 3 emissions made up 94% of the ACT's total carbon footprint. Human settlements. The ACT community's current consumption levels are unsustainable. Our total ecological footprint is over 9 times the area of the ACT. Over 1 million tonnes of waste are produced annually in the ACT, which equates to more than 2 tonnes per person. The state of our transport use is poor, with a continued high reliance on cars. Meanwhile, public and active transport use is much lower than previous decades, despite population growth. Air. Fine particulate matter, or PM2.5, is the ACT's most serious air quality issue. During Black Summer, our air quality was severely impacted by bushfire smoke. The ACT experienced 56 days with air pollution levels that exceeded health standards, including 42 days above the hazardous to health rating. In non-bushfire years, wood heaters have the greatest impact on air quality in the ACT. Land. Canberra is expanding and needs to prioritise limiting urban sprawl. Our projected urban growth does not support a compact and efficient city. Although the ACT is meeting its 70% infill target, the area of land used for greenfield housing is far greater than that used for infill development. This is because greenfield dwellings are typically lower density than infill. Biodiversity. More species are becoming threatened in the ACT. Since 2019, 6 new species have been added to the threatened species list, and 3 have been given a higher threat status. The biggest threats to native vegetation are from urban development, climate change, bushfires, and the loss of mature trees. Water. Native fish populations are under pressure. The Murrumbidgee River is dominated by alien species, and the 2020 bushfire severely impacted native fish populations in the Upper Cotter River. The main pressures on our aquatic ecosystems are land use impacts, modified river flows, poor riparian condition, bushfire and climate change. Urban development is degrading water quality and increasing impacts downstream of the ACT. All of the ACT's lakes and rivers experienced closures in every recreational season. Fire. The 2020 bushfires burnt 40% of the ACT, including 80% of Namadgi National Park. 75,000 hectares that were burnt in the 2003 bushfires were reburnt in 2020. This has had severe impacts on native vegetation, biodiversity and ecosystem health, which will be felt for decades to come. Looking ahead, climate change is expected to further increase fire occurrence and severity. Like all jurisdictions around Australia, the ACT has been deeply affected by the dual crises of climate change and biodiversity loss. It's critical that we take steps to protect our unique environment so that it can thrive into the future. To read more about the state of the ACT's environment and progress towards sustainability, head to www.actsoe2023.com.au.